Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Mackay T Podcast. Here are your hosts, Brian Mackay and T Davis.
This is the Mackay T Show. This is the Mackay T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Brianna and T Davis. Yeah, you can't tame us. We go on to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mackay T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mackay T Show.
Welcome back to the Mackay T Show podcast. College basketball. Men's and women's Final Fours are set. Last night the women finished up the rest of their Final Four. And we'll have the heavily favored UConn Huskies against three first-timers in the women's Final Four. We got Syracuse against Washington. And that's a battle of some very talented guards. Washington having Kelsey Plum and Syracuse with Brianna Butler. And then in the other semifinal, you have obviously the Huskies versus Oregon State, who is the Pac-12 champion this year. And they have UConn has its big three. It's got Brianna Stewart, three-time player of the year. Moriah, Jefferson, and Morgan Tuck. And then you got on Oregon State, you got two guards, Jamie Weisner, Sydney Wiese, and in the post you got Ruth Hamblin. And I told you yesterday that
That's what I was gonna say. You said that it wasn't no guarantee Baylor gonna make it, and they did.
Yeah, I just said it that I really, because Oregon State is a really good squad. You know, that last night, them against Baylor was probably the best game I've seen in the tournament so far.
Well, apparently the coach throwing her clothes off on the sideline. She a drama queen a little bit anyway, but still.
Yeah, and I mean, they even have a Twitter account for her jacket now. For Kim Mulkey's jacket. At Kim's jacket.
Why? The things they wind up on Twitter.
So, yeah, obviously, UConn, heavy favorite. They were going to be the heavy favorite regardless.
I'm going to say they've been a heavy. First of all, I don't even like saying heavy favorite. They're not going to lose. All right,
they're in the news here recently as sports writer Dan Shaughnessy has come out and basically tweeted out saying that he didn't want to treat them negatively because they're so good, but he basically called them bad for the game of women's basketball, saying that he was no longer gonna watch it because it's no reason for him to watch it because he already knows the outcome.
And that's the thing, and that's the only, and it depends on your perspective of what he mean by bad. No, it's good to have good teams, but at this juncture. Anybody that might have watched it because, anybody can win it, probably be like, no, UConn gonna win, so I'm not gonna watch it.
Right.
And then if they don't like UConn, then they definitely not gonna watch.
Yeah, Gino obviously, in his own way, fired back like he known to do. He kind of compared it to Tiger Woods when Tiger was running things in golf. Nobody ever called him bad for golf. Honestly, what he did for golf was he made others step up their game. And now we have a lot more golfers out there who, are very talented and have taken the role since obviously he's been on his decline.
Let's be clear about this. The only reason we cared about Tiger Woods' dominance is because he was black. If he was white, nobody would have cared. Because it's other guys, Mickelson and other guys been dominating golf for years. And that just, him being black, or whatever he called himself, brought another race or ethnicity into the market of watching.
Right.
That's all. Golf didn't get any better or worse. Nobody was like, he dominated, but it wasn't like he was blowing people out by 50 strokes.
Right. I mean, it was.
Like,
And you still
he was
had your
winning the
Arnold
match.
Palmers and your Jack Nicklaus
Yeah.
and Gary players. You had golf been popular for years.
For years,
Yeah.
and that ain't gonna change. And you see, I mean, UConn. Okay, yeah, they're having a run like UCLA men, but the fact of the matter is, people like men's basketball. And again, we talked about this in the earlier podcast. It's a struggle to get people to come to the games and all. And so when it comes to UConn, I mean, why would I watch? I know they're gonna blow the team out. I might watch a few minutes and then just be like, I'm gonna turn this to something else.
I mean, I honestly didn't no way expect Mississippi State to win the other day, but I did not envision them being just dismantled the way they were. And it wasn't like they weren't getting shots; they just couldn't make them. It's almost like they got to Bridgeport and said, "Oh, we're playing UConn in Connecticut," and they put a lid on their basket because that's
got to stop too. If you're already dominant, why should you play at home?
I don't agree with it. I don't agree with them doing that, but I understand. Obviously,
they gonna travel just like when Tennessee was dominant, and Tennessee still travel. If UConn go to the West Coast, guess what? It's gonna be fans gonna be all filled up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a sea of blue out there, ready to watch the Huskies.
Yeah, these people gonna travel because they got their following, just like Tennessee got their following. And I say Tennessee because these are the only two programs that's been dominant like this in their time.
Right.
That I can think of. You have these hot spots of Maryland snuck up and beat somebody and won a national championship here. And, who was it? The girl from Atlanta played for? Was it Louisville?
Yes,
they
Louisville.
Snuck up and won. They snuck up and won one, but most in generally it was Tennessee, and now UConn doing the same thing. But overall, women's basketball to me is falling off. So.
Well, I do like the fact that you have 3 first-timers in the Final Four. I mean, that shows that, there are some teams on the rise. And, I mean, these teams, they're getting better. And, UConn is forcing people to recruit better. I mean, you have to recruit, got to recruit harder to compete with the Joneses.
But let's look at recruit. There's only so many good players out there. You can't really recruit better, right?
Right.
I mean, there's only so many good players. UConn gonna get a plethora of them. Stanford gonna grab a couple. Baylor's gonna grab. And so it's only so many good players. You gotta be one of the coaches that find those diamonds in the rough, and then find a way to get your team to buy in and believe that they good.
And speaking on recruiting, we were talking about this yesterday as well. Coaches, just an opinion of mine, coaches are spending a lot more time at recruiting, and I think the teaching the fundamentals of the game and the actual teaching of the game has lacked in recent years.
And I think a part of that is almost like what the NBA is seeing. So now they playing so much AAU ball that they not getting any fundamentals in the high school game or when they would normally go to camps. Because camps not as big as they used to be. They might be at UConn and some of these other schools. But most places, basketball camps, like it's getting to where you kind of just like, well, where are all the kids?
Right.
These parents are dropping kids off like this is a camp, for Camp Mississippi, River Valley daycare center.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically that's what it's come to, and that's why many camps are falling by the wayside.
Yeah, and so that was times when people was going, because I didn't go for one camp, but I did go to a camp in the summer. And I got better doing that summer after I got injured. But anyway, but I got better. And then I spent the rest of my time playing outdoors with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got better. I played one AAU once. One summer. Did it keep me from going to college? No.
Yeah. Well, you talked about that yesterday, how you basically you owned your game out there on the blacktop playing against the guys.
And I just don't understand this AAU is ruining the same thing for men and women. Now they behind fundamentally. So now you're talking about now they got to do so much recruiting, but also the rules only say that they can spend only so much time with the coaches on the court. So if they ain't getting it in on their own,
They're not
gonna get any better.
You know, I think that is definitely a hindrance right now in both men and women. Switching over to the men's side, the Final Four, you have North Carolina versus Syracuse and Villanova versus Oklahoma. During the season, North Carolina defeated Syracuse twice, once 84-73 on January 9th, and the other time being 75-70 win on February 29th. And in the case of Villanova and Oklahoma, they played once in Hawaii back in December 7th, I believe. Pearl Harbor Day in Hawaii. Ain't that something? Anyway, Oklahoma beat Villanova 78-55, which a lot of people are gonna look at that and say, okay, well, Oklahoma should go ahead and take that one. But I caution you, just based off of personal experience, you remember the year that Coach Ross took the girls to the Elite Eight. We on that run, we defeated Maryland in the second round, the defending champions from the year before. Just that November down in the Bahamas, they beat us like we stole something. I mean, it was like 110-65 or something like that. It was just a throttling. And the same two teams played, months later, and we were on the road. They were going the other way, and we took off. So anybody that thinks that Oklahoma just automatically gonna win that game, think twice, because it can happen.
Well, this is what I would say. I mean, it ain't no telling what'll happen, but I just like having a star guard on my team if I'm Oklahoma.
Buddy. Oh,
Mr.
buddy.
Hield. Yeah, Mr. Hield. Is the real deal. And if he get any kind of way on a roll, we saw what happened. Oregon didn't even know what hit them.
Nope.
They didn't know what hit them. And then then the point guard started hitting his shot. They trying to chase Hield all over the place. The point guard started swarming. I like Oklahoma. I feel like I haven't seen North Carolina play.
I keep up with North Carolina as much as I can. They are by far the most talented team. I mean, I thought coming into this last weekend that them and Kansas were the two best teams. And obviously Kansas fell off. But I think that at this point it's going to be Carolina and Oklahoma in the championship.
That's who I would have picked.
And it's going to be Buddy Hield, the king of comeback. He could have left early a bunch of times in his career. He didn't. He stayed in school, and I think they're really pushing that story home. Honestly, I feel like they ought to push that story home more, but that's just me. So I think it's going to be him. Can he take down the Tar Heels? We'll see.
Well, this should be fun. I can go back in my mind to the days of who was that at Oklahoma? Stacey King, them taking. I'm going way back.
Mm-hmm. Bring it back.
King taking them, and then what? The last time Syracuse was it wasn't Carmelo. Who? When the last time they won?
Carmelo.
It was Carmelo?
Yeah, Carmelo and Jerry McNamara and
Carmelo had cornrows.
Yeah, I was sitting way up high at the Superdome. Way they look like ants on the floor watching that game against Kansas. I'll never forget it. Cause I fear for my life. Don't ever, if you have to sit in the 600 seats, I'm sorry, New Orleans Superdome, if I'm taking your business away. But if you have to sit in the section 600 of the Superdome, don't do it. Just sit at home and watch it on TV. Goodness.
So then for the real basketball heads, you talking about Villanova with Kerry Kittles and all them back. So that should be fun for them to be back in it.
And you could even take Villanova even further and go back to the Ed Pinckney days.
Oh Lord, that's way too far back.
When they took down the Hoyas. So
that should be fun.
Yeah, I think it will. That's gonna bring us to our first break. On the other side, we'll get into a little scandal talk.
Oh Lord.
We'll go over the last episode of Scandal, kind of get you all caught up on that. And we'll do that much more on the other side. This is the Mackay T Show.
What time is it? What time is it?
Welcome back to the Mackay T Show podcast. Scandal. This past episode, as they tend to do, they got about 7 storylines going on at one time. Big major storyline at this point is they're coming up on the next election. They're doing the primaries, basically playing off of what's going on in real life. You got Melly. You got Susan Ross, the vice president, and
she running?
Yes, and a newcomer to the deal is Howard Doyle, the big money oil tycoon from episodes past. He, big money guy, and coming out, and his platform is getting rid of all the immigrants and blah 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 blah.
Not playing Trump.
Yes, he is. I mean, basically, that is Donald Trump. And I think that's the Democrats. On the Republican side, you have Governor Vargas, who just recently, obviously, was shot. In a little standoff between him and a shooter that Cyrus basically made happen, because Cyrus wants to run this guy's campaign, so he wanted to make it where he ran for president, and now he has decided to run. Cyrus is kind of struggling, having a little power struggle with him and Vargas's brother Alex, kind of for the top of the food chain spot there. Obviously, every time Cyrus goes to tell Vargas some information, Alex then already told him. It's kind of a situation like that where they're having a little pissing contest between each other. Also running for president over on the Republican side is what's his name? Edison. And Edison is Olivia's old man. The black guy, real well dressed, well spoken. I can't think of actually what he does. I know he ran the head of it was some kind of committee, but I know him and Olivia had a little thing, and
that was like season 2.
Yeah, it was way back. Well,
he back, because I thought he had died or something.
No, he back. He in there, and
we ain't seen him in 3 seasons.
Come to find out, he is working with Daddy Pope.
Oh no.
Yeah, so, Olivia's been stalking Jake this whole time, trying to find out who Jake, and, why Jake is with this girl. He's got a real serious girlfriend. What that's all about, because they know there's something living foul, because him and Daddy Pope are back together again, and there's something going on foul. She just knows it. Well, she's had Quinn go in and act like she was an old college classmate of this girl. And they done hit it off, become friends. This girl done give up some information. And go ahead.
How she don't know who she went to school with? First of all,
that's the hole in the storyline that I don't like either. But it is what it is.
I want to remember a face or something. And then if I don't remember you, we not having a conversation.
And I'm not telling you every detail of my life. No.
You went to Florida. We was in that class together. Oh, well, how you been?
Oh, so
that's about it.
So you date the head of the NSA, and he's
asking.
That's about
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No. So Vanessa Moss, who is Jake's girlfriend, basically, gives up all kind of information, and then come to find out that, or Olivia and them have figured out that they're using her bank accounts to fund some kind of PAC, basically funding the campaign of Edison. Basically what it comes down to. And yeah, so gonna be a lot of mess going on with that, because Olivia lets Jake know right toward the end of the episode that she knows this all going on, and basically tell my dad that whatever game he's playing, I'm gonna win. So
Really?
Olivia's back. Olivia's back to being hardcore, I guess you could say.
She might have dissociative identity disorder or something.
Well, I love the line that Edison gives her when she goes to basically, before she finds out that Edison and her dad are working together. Because he basically tells her in the end of this conversation, but before she finds out, and she's in there, you're getting in bed with a monster, basically. She's trying to warn him. And he said, no, I'm getting in bed with the monster's father.
Oh no! This.
Boom.
I might have to fall off of the trail altogether. I was holding on to like the bed rail, but this just getting to be too much.
And
any side stories?
Yeah.
No more stories.
Yeah. Susan Ross, obviously is running for president, and she has David Rosen and Liz North helping her with her campaign, and and Liz is basically, that's Portia de Rossi's character, Liz North, basically kind of playing puppet master with David, doing little sexual favors for him, and getting him to, pump up Susan Ross' ego. Well, now David done got himself in a little love triangle between, and then when it comes out, basically he was going and talking to Abby, and because he's starting to fall in love with Susan Ross, and he wants to know what he should do about things. So he goes and talks to the girl that he used to date, Abby. Come on now. and he's asking her opinion on everything. Well, Abby, not knowing who he's talking about, Susan Ross comes to her later on in the episode, and she starts talking. She asks, why you have David Rosen's file here on your desk. Oh yeah, he was in here earlier. Something about wanting to know what he should do about these two girls he's seeing, and so boom. So
you tell him what I know.
Yeah, so Susan confronts him on it. Of course, he lies. He feels bad now because she's kind of figuring it out in his mind. So he goes and he breaks things off with Liz North because he wants to be with Susan. Well, it's getting ready to be the debate time, and Susan confronts him again because she knows that it's true. She knows what's going down. She don't know who it's with. So that's a whole different story, because her and Liz have a moment where after she breaks up with David, she's like telling Liz, I know he's been cheating on me, and Liz North kind of freezes up like, oh, with who? And Susan Ross looks at her like, I don't know with who? Who asked who is what? And then she starts crying, and Liz North starts crying, saying David Rosen's what an ass or whatever, and I'm like, oh man. So she gonna play this girl all the way to the left. And yeah, so it's a bunch of that going on. Olivia and Melly not really, seeing eye to eye on how to run their campaign. Basically, she's making Melly trying to be something that she's not by making her more relatable to the people. Because, Melly's kind of that, comes off as a comes off as a know-it-all, a Rhodes Scholar, And so she tries to make a whole little scene at the Gettysburger, the McDonald's of the show, basically, where they go and she's got the news cameras there, and they're asking her all kind of questions. So when's the last time you've been to a Gettysburger? Melly's making up stories, and she's doing good. And then all of a sudden she said, "Yeah, we used to go to that one," and she called out the exact one they used to go to. Blah blah blah. And then she's like, "Yeah, we used to go there every Sunday at the church." screwed up because Gettysburgers is not open
It's
on
closed.
Sunday. So,
Way to go.
yeah, so that didn't go well. And the next episode, obviously, is going to center around the debate between her, Susan Ross, and Hollis. And that's where we left off on this episode. So it's getting. I don't know. I don't know.
It sounds like it's getting boring. But go ahead.
I think it should pick up steam here now because you got all these stories kind of coming into the focus. You know, you got what is Edison and Daddy Pope? What's Daddy Pope and Jake Real playing? What is their big picture
Take
plan?
over the White House.
Right.
The Republic, as they call it. They just want to run the Republic.
So it's going to be interesting to see what everything comes out. I'm gonna keep watching it. It's always going to be something worth watching to me.
Keep holding on then, for us all.
Let's see. Let's go ahead and take another break, and then we'll come back and get into the O.J. Simpson story, and then we'll finish up with a little NBA talk. But this has been the Mackay T Show.
What time is it? What time is it?
Welcome back to the Mackay T Show podcast. The People versus O.J. Simpson. FX's new series focuses on everything that was going on behind the scenes with the trial. We saw the trial. Everybody saw the trial out in the open on TV every day. But this is, what's going on with the lawyers and everything, all the dirty underhandedness behind the scenes. I found it very, very interesting. I've enjoyed it to this point.
I have been intrigued. I had no idea OJ was in. Okay, spoiler alert, if you had planned on watching all of it at once, just don't listen to this. Because I'm telling everything I know.
Get it. Go for it. Go.
I did not know OJ was in the back of that car with a gun trying to kill himself. We never knew what he was running. We didn't know what was going on in the Bronco.
We just knew he was in it and riding.
And riding down the highway. Forever.
And messing up the NBA Finals. That's what we knew.
A mess. Everything, like they turned off everything for him.
Yeah.
Okay, so we also knew that, we didn't know. We did know. Obviously the Kardashians weren't doing what they're doing now, so I didn't know, this Kardashian dude that was his friend.
Yeah, and like I told you the first couple episodes, I said, Lord have mercy, this is the People versus O.J. Simpson featuring the Kardashians. Because they showed them on every episode when it first started. And I said, I understand that was probably just a way to get viewers, because, oh, look at Lil' Kim and Chloe running around.
Name recognition.
Yeah.
So, didn't know that, obviously. Okay, so we know that now. When his friend, I can't think of his name, that comes to the house and takes him on the Bronco ride.
Al Cowlings, AC.
When AC, first of all, AC got a problem. Because AC is in love with him or idolizing him so much, he got a white Bronco that looked just like the Bronco OJ. They was like, it's another white Bronco? Yes, AC looks up to OJ so much he bought the exact same car.
And the way when they said that, I can't remember which one it was. Yeah. The look on their face is priceless. Like really? Yeah.
Okay. All the drama on how Cochran got on the team. Because I just thought he was on the team from the jump.
Yeah, that was interesting to find out that it came about that way.
OJ would have been in jail already if it was up to what's the white guy? John Travolta playing.
Yes, Robert Shapiro. He kept trying to get that man.
Shapiro just keep wanting to plea bargain.
He wanted to plea out so bad.
And they keep saying this is not about you. Well, I think then you know who OJ reminded me of on and seeing how dumb he was. You know, like when they were saying, "Do you want Cochran or Shapiro to take the lead?"
Right.
And he was like, "Well. Well, you're a coach and you get the assistant coach and all these football analogies." I said, he remind me of that dummy on Ballers. That's got
Burning.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, if that ain't Vernon, this
Yes.
is your life, and you playing around, just go ahead and tell him, take a back seat. And start hemming and hawing.
Right.
About who you want to lead this trial. Okay. When they went to OJ's house, I still didn't know why they went to OJ's house. Did I miss something in that episode? Because I never understood why they went to his house in real life when that happened. So, I still don't understand why they went to the house.
Yeah, I think it... I know at the time, I think they were just wanting to show... The prosecution wanted to show how, you know, how white he was. Because it was a majority black jury. And they flipped it on him. Because Johnny did a remodeling.
He said, this will not do. This will not do. He said he had to borrow from the Cochran estate.
Speaking on that particular topic, did you catch the last episode where the jury is obviously it's all basically a majority about the jury and they're being sequestered for so long and they're getting restless? There was a moment where they are trying to decide on what show to watch, what TV show to watch. They were going to get Martin or Seinfeld. All the white people were on Seinfeld, all the blacks wanted Martin. Did you notice that later on, I think it was when he was playing cards with his buddies in jail for Skittles, OJ made a reference to a Seinfeld show.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, come on now.
Seinfeld was a good show. So, I was like, when OJ walked in that house and said, I don't even know these people. I was like, oh my God. I hope ain't none of these jurors saying you talking about you don't even know these pictures in these frames. These people. And then when he went over and told, what's the black prosecutor's name?
Darden.
When he went over and told Darden to get off his bench.
Yeah, and made a scene about it.
But apparently, I'm sure they stretching some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Larry, shout out to Larry. He got a book about this, and he said that really happened. Like, when they went to the house, he sit on something, and OJ went over and was like, don't sit on whatever that was his.
So Larry has read the book that this show is based off of?
Is that what this show
is based off of? There's a book on the run for his life or whatever. Yeah.
So Marcy episode. And Marcy's hair, and Marcy was going through... Marsha. But... Marsha. Okay, so... her husband trying to take the kid because she never at home. Then she trying to get home and back and forth, and these cases obviously lasting long. She getting home late at night, and somebody else got to watch the kid. Then another ex that she got two exes. Lord, when he put that nude pictures out of her, I was just like, why? I was like, you got too much going on in your life. Then he put the nude pictures out. Then she went, because the people in the poll or the focus group said they didn't like her look. And then she heard all the nasty stuff the people were saying about her on the other side of that two-way mirror. And I just felt bad for her the whole episode. I was like, this is so bad.
Yeah, they beat her to death in that one whole episode.
They destroyed her. And then I wanted to slap the judge for being unprofessional because when she come into court, now she been dealing with people dealing with her hair and her look. And what Ito tell her? He said something about her hair.
He said something about
No, he said, "Is that you?"
Right.
Or something.
Something to that effect.
Like, really, bro?
Like making it out like she was a whole new person.
I was like, really? And then she sat there and was almost crying. Which, let's give a shout out to all these actors and actresses because they have been really doing a really great job.
There's going to be some awards handed out. Cause
they need to because they have been doing an excellent job.
Because she is great. The guy that plays Cochran is awesome.
Yes. I'm about to say Angela Bassett's husband, but that I mean he got a real name. Yeah. But Angela Bassett's husband.
And then even though John Travolta obviously is John Travolta,
but he's holding that face.
He keeps them mannerism and that facial expressions of Shapiro. If you go back and look at like YouTube videos of the actual people, they are. I mean, it's really crazy.
It's almost spot on. He is holding that face, and every time I see him, I'm like, he got that face. Who knew that Cochran had all these skeletons in his closet?
I didn't know he dated a white woman.
The whole other family, though.
Right.
Why he was with the other lady. Which, then his current wife during that time, she was like, well, yeah, I knew it, but I didn't think it was going to come out because now my family know it and they looking at me sideways. Yeah,
the lady that plays his wife, his current wife on the show, the actress that plays her, was on one of those podcasts I told you about that you can listen to on iTunes, and there was the AfterBuzz TV where they review each episode, and they had one for the O.J. Simpson story, and they had her on, and she was kind of laying it out, during during those scenes of, She was trying to show how she played it, and I thought she was very, very telling about how things really were in that situation.
Well, she the one that wanted him to go after this case, and then she started backtracking a little bit. And I was like, "You're the one that said that he should have been on this case before he got on it. You remember early on?"
Yeah. And you should have known there was going to be some stuff come with it, and sorry if your friends found out, but hey.
Right. Everybody started digging for dirt, but probably I don't want to say the best episode because all of them have been good in their own right. I never want to be on a jury for anything that's expensive. I don't want to be on
8 months. Good night.
Even a month. Because if this is true, they couldn't watch TV. Lord, when they put out them Blockbuster VHS tapes, though, I was done. I was like, oh man, yeah. Papa.
This was 90s when that stuff happened.
Papa, they don't even exist anymore. So we're going to get y'all something from the Red Box. Anywho, they all like, oh, we going to the hotel, duck, quack, quack. Man, he opened that case and the TV was gone. I was like, okay, TV gone.
Yeah.
All of y'all meet in the room for, debriefing. They treated them like they was criminals.
They called them by their number. That's how they went about talking to them.
Which is disrespectful. And that one lady finally put Ito in place. Was like, stop calling me. My name is Shelly or whatever her name was.
And she went slap crazy at the end of the episode.
She was stir crazy.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. I mean, why you can't let them have a VHS tape in their own space?
You can give them some movies. You can give them some movies to watch. They don't have to watch nothing current.
Right. Now they gotta sit in there like some kindergartners and watch TV that they don't want to watch Martin. I'm just saying.
I know.
Like at some point, hey, who want to read a book? We can make a trip to the library, or you can buy a book. That newspaper that boy had was so chopped up, where they had cut off different pieces out of it. I was like, this is unacceptable. Then they start dropping like flies. Oh, you were abused. Oh, you have been to jail. Oh, you didn't tell us.
Wait. How about the guy that went to jail? It was a misunderstanding. I just put her in the car. We just took a ride for a minute.
Yes. kidnapping. But it was a misunderstanding. You know how women can be.
I just put her in the car and took her around the block.
Then we got a picture of you shaking hands with OJ at a rental car company. Bruh, you don't think that's a conflict of interest?
Man, they start digging up on every one of them suckers.
So this is what I don't understand. Why didn't you do your due diligence beforehand? Like, this stuff shouldn't come out now. This should have been, somebody should have investigated this prior to you even getting on the jury.
And the fact that the woman, like, when it got to the point where the alternate juror that Johnny and them wanted to keep off the stand because they had been on other trials, that should not ever be a problem. There's too many people in this world where if you've already been sequestered on trial, that kind of magnitude, you shouldn't have to be a part of it anymore.
Yeah, you got your one chance. Go get on a little baby child about somebody running a red light.
Yeah.
I don't know. Then when they all decided, I really wasn't sure what happened with the black, because the one lady had the black dress on. She's like, "Are we going to a funeral?" They whispering. Then the next thing you know, the judge called them into the office, and they all came out with black, except like 2 people. And I was like, "What is happening?"
That was fun. And I didn't realize, I guess I should have assumed this, but I didn't realize that the alternates, they literally get treated the exact same way as the actual jurors.
Right.
They get the same treatment. They get sequestered, all of that.
Well,
that would suck.
When is the next one? Is it out? It came on tonight?
Tonight. Tuesday night. Yep, tonight.
Because when that man got that phone call that said that police officer, he wrote on that paper that he said all Negroes, and he didn't use the word Negroes, all Negroes should be framed. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I was sitting there watching that last episode with my mom, and I ran that back because she was talking and she missed that. I ran it back. I said, watch this part. And he wrote down all that information. I said, oh Lord.
What? Because when he went in the room with all that, them swastikas and stuff, I was like, he kind of flaky. Like, maybe somebody in his family was in this. Because, who, has all this memorabilia, if not? But I'm interested to see how that plays.
I just say this about the whole story. I'm not going to call nobody innocent, guilty, nothing. That ain't for me to decide. But the way that the LAPD handled the situation, the way the prosecution kind of, they were real loose, like Darden screwing up with the glove. And
who keeps the blood for a whole day in the car and you take it home?
Who just hands the blood over to the house? At the house while he investigating the crime scene. They just hand some blood over to him. And then he don't have no glove on. Come on, man.
Contamination. Come on, y'all better than that.
Come on,
but apparently not. So
and then they use a blanket from the house to cover the body that's going to have his DNA. Oh, man. Y'all just messing up all the way around.
Right. So you grab a blanket. What happened to having the white sheet that they bring that we see on TV? I don't know if this happened in real life, but...
I watched CSI.
Yeah, what happened to the white sheet that you just throw over the body?
And that's another thing. At that time, CSI wasn't known. There was no CSI at that point. So DNA evidence was not as big as it is now. People are not...
It started, right? Because that man was giving all this boring testimony on DNA and all this one...
Yeah, Mr. Yu, whatever his name was, the Asian guy, he was just up there just to talking. And
they showed the jury just falling asleep. I was like, Lord, them people over there in the coma. You better stop him right now because you're losing your people.
But now when you got all the CSIs of the world, people are more... people are all over DNA evidence now. You can't hardly have a case without it.
So this is the scary thing, but for real people, right? For real life, not the thing real, but seeing this reenactment of what's going on behind the scenes.
Right.
This is why if you say that you killed somebody and that you're a serial killer, I'm okay with the death penalty. Like if you admitted to it and you. Otherwise, y'all can't be putting. I ain't down for the death penalty because I don't know who been doing what and manipulate what behind the scenes to make it go their way.
I do like that first episode where she wanted the death penalty on the table, and that guy basically said they're not gonna let you kill O.J. Simpson. That right there told the whole story right there.
Well, no, this is what told the other half. It told half, and O.J. saying, "I'm not black, I'm O.J."
I'm O.J. Yeah. That's the truth.
In his world, he is not a color.
I mean, you look who he was playing Skittles poker with.
Who gets a break when you in jail to go play poker?
O.J. Like they current topic. They have a guy who was a security at his prison that he is at now, where they say that he lives the life of Riley. He has, free to come in and out of his cell at night, and he has, all the good amenities that you would expect someone to have on the outside. He has all that going on the inside in his prison cell. There's a book about it. I know my dad been trying to get me put on his Kindle. I ain't put it on his Kindle yet. So
get that on your dad's Kindle. Can read it.
So yeah, it's interesting.
Well, and I guess that's real. You got money, you can go play poker with your friends on some breaks in the jail cell with some Skittles. Okay. So yeah, it's interesting, all of this little stuff. I'm sure we missed some little stuff that we was like, wow, that happened.
Right.
But yeah, that's a bit crazy. What can happen behind the scenes in these cases.
And just like we didn't know that Cochran wasn't just automatically a part of the team. I didn't know that Darden wasn't just automatically a part of the prosecution.
True.
And I didn't know that him and Cochran worked in the same place.
Yeah.
That threw me for a loop.
Right. When they were working together early on in the first episode when we see them, and then all of a sudden he on the other team. And then he's like, don't let them, remember when he told him don't let them use you to cross-examine the white officer.
Right, don't.
And then he going back and forth like, is he pulling my string? And his dad was like, maybe he's just giving you good advice. Like,
yeah, because his daddy was telling him, don't you know, be nowhere near this. Anyway, he was already telling him that.
And he got bamboozled into it.
Yeah.
So.
And then they played him like a fiddle. F. Lee Bailey come over there talking about if you don't ask him to try on the gloves, we will.
Oh my God, they played him like a fiddle. And she told you, don't do it. Your ego, testosterone, whatever.
Yeah, he was feeling himself. Him and Marsha had their little flame.
Did they really have a fling? Because, they played it like they didn't in this. Like,
from what I read, that is, somewhat true. Nothing ever, they
were close.
Yeah, nothing ever actually happened. Like, he never did actually go in the room that night. No.
Right. But emotionally, they were bonding.
Yes.
And then she started tripping.
Mm-hmm.
After he didn't go in the room.
And I love how this is set in a different time. Like you say, the blockbuster videos. And Marsha Clark smoking every other second.
Oh my God, I'm so tired of her smoking. I wanted her to get a cessation program right now. She probably don't smoke no more.
She doesn't. They had interviewed her. I think she came out on Ellen or one of them talk shows, and she was talking about how she doesn't. She gave up smoking a long time ago.
I'm proud of you because she was puffing it up. Every time we saw you out of the courtroom, you had a cigarette in your hand. And I was like, Lord, thank God for no smoking in government buildings now and all this, because this is ridiculous. She's standing right here on this balcony smoking, trying to kill everybody else within 100 yards of her.
Right. Yeah, and even old Kardashian, as good a friend as he was to OJ, even he was having doubts.
Yes,
we've seen that the last couple episodes.
That DNA number, that 1 in 100 million or whatever that man said, had him shaking.
I think that's the part I can't wait to see. Whenever this thing ends and they do the not guilty verdict, I want to see how David Schwimmer, who plays Robert Kardashian, I want to see if he gets that face. The look on Kardashian's face when they say not guilty is priceless. That's a picture that I will never forget because he just is in shock.
Well, one more thing that I remember. This bag O.J. Simpson gave him that he just held.
The clothes, yes. The clothes. Mm-hmm.
When AC started tripping when they opened the bag, I was like, would you have opened the bag?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
I would have said, oh yeah, Brian gave me that bag. If it ever came up, it would have just been sitting over there in the closet or in the attic.
Yep.
I was like, oh, he gave me that a long time ago. I just had put it up there because it was sitting in the way.
Yeah. I was just getting it up out of plain sight, just so it wasn't laying on the floor somewhere.
If you open that bag and there's another glove, now you got to say, am I going to throw my dude under the bus? Or am I going to burn this bag? Right, I was like, I would not have opened that bag. Even though I don't think Brian did. Look, even though I don't think Brian did.
Right.
I'm not going to even test the waters.
Well, let's finish this off with a little NBA talk.
Yeah.
Anybody interested? The Lakers are auctioning off a chance to see Kobe's last game.
Oh Lord! Don't do it. It ain't gonna be worth sitting out. It ain't like you gonna hang out with Kobe.
You gonna get a high five on his way out to the floor.
And sit on the front row.
Yeah, and watch them get killed.
And if you see the money that you had to pay, because I went on the site, just curious. You're going to be paid to sit on that front row. Because to have a chance to win, you're going to have to donate a lot of money to his little foundation, which is really, that's all they're doing it for, is to raise money for his foundation. But I was like, yeah,
AKA Kobe, his retirement fund. Anyway.
If it was Magic Johnson, I might even consider it. But no.
Yeah.
Look like Golden State going to get 73. But I'm not going to speak too fast because they still got 2 games against
the Spurs.
And they could trip up against any other body, that's a terrible sentence.
Yeah.
Anyone else.
They at 66 and 7 right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for them to lose 3 more games. Right. But
because I feel like when they lose, they normally bounce back and go on another run. So even if they were lost to San Antonio, let's see when they play.
But in the words of Kevin Garnett, anything is possible.
Oh Lord, too much. Yeah, like the Lakers are 15 and 59.
Speaking of anything being possible, Dwight Howard is in the news recently, and there's a possibility he could go back to Orlando.
Do they want him?
That is what I asked when I heard this story. Why would they want him?
Like who? Why that? You not the same guy.
I mean, he basically forget that. He ruined their franchise.
Right.
He ruined them.
Tore up the team. They on the rebuild. They already got their own version, the new and improved Superman, i.e. the dunk contest guy. What is his name?
Aaron Gordon. Gordon, yes.
Gordon. So they don't need you.
They got a bunch of young pieces and, a couple more young pieces put together with them. And, speaking of young, do y'all want Ben Simmons? Do y'all still want him?
If we get one, maybe. If not, we'll take 2 and get Ingram. I was really in love wanting that 1 pick, but I like Ingram a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. Hield, for me, and I know people said this about Stephon Curry, but Hield, he can shoot. I don't know if he'll be able to get separation in the NBA.
Right, I don't know if he got the foot speed.
Because, he's just playing with the mediocre guys, and but of course, you're playing against the best. And then, it could be that, he do well. I'm concerned about that for him in the next level. Because he's not a great ball handler.
Yeah.
which I mean he can improve on. But I mean he is a senior, so this is what I'm all taking into account. The fact that he's been 4 years in college, he should be a better ball handler than he is. Because he turned the ball over a lot in that game that they blew the team out. He had some just silly turnovers, just like I'm dribbling and they just take the ball from me turnovers. Or I know how many times do you say don't jump in the air to make a pass? I'm sure you've heard that 100 times, like turnovers. I'll take Simmons or Ingram.
Yeah, I really like Ingram. I think I'm trying not to be soured on Simmons because of the recent, stuff about him and his academics, and I think I'm taking that way too much into account because that's not going to play out in the NBA. Other than he might be bad managing his money, but that's going to be his problem, not mine.
Right, and the thing with academics, a part of that, college is not for everybody.
Right.
Only reason he went to college is because the NBA said so. He probably had no interest in going into college.
And clearly not, because as soon as he announced that he was going to the NBA, he left, and now he's in Phoenix until the draft. So,
in all honesty, with the way that his season turned about, if you could roll back the hands of time, he should have went overseas and played.
Yeah, that worked out for what's that boy? Moutier. It's in Denver now.
And I think he still would have been a top pick. 1, 2. He would have got to play against some grown people. I think the coach would have used him better. Yeah. Because, it was rumors that, his teammates might have been jealous of him.
Yeah, there were a lot of people saying that Johnny Jones was Coach K or Jim Boeheim or someone with some clout as far as in the coaching world, that it would have been a better situation. But Johnny Jones just trying to please everybody and not rock the boat too much.
And so I think with all that, taking that into account, I'm not worried about they say he can't shoot, because Larry, shout out to Larry, he loves to say he can't shoot, and I'm like, that's fine. He's 18 and 6'10". And I've seen his form. His form is not awful. Mm-hmm. That's just gonna come with practice. Right. And we talking about practice.
Not a game. Not a game.
We talking about practice. So I like both of them. Ingram, I might give a nod just because he's a little more polished in the offensive end.
And there again, prisoners of the moment. We've seen him more recently doing, some special things in the tournament.
Yeah, and I shouldn't even say more polished, because I would say that Simmons is probably a better passer than him.
Yeah.
So you take a jump shot for a big man that can pass, just depending on what team you on.
Yeah, we're going to see how it all shakes out.
I just want to see, before we go to close the day, is Jenny Buss going to keep her word and fire her brother?
That is the question of the hour.
Because they 15 and 59, and they might finish worse than we did last year. So, it's 4 years up. Jenny, if you're listening, do the right thing.
Jenny. As Spike Lee says,
do the right thing.
Do the right thing. Oh, goodness. Well, I think that's going to be a wrap on our show today. As always, I am one of your co-hosts, Brian Mackay, and I am with
T. It is still great to be a Florida Gator Davis.
Lord, I thought a few months away would have done away with that, but
it's still great.
And this has been the Mackay T Show podcast. Thank you for listening.
This is the Mackay T Show. This is the Mackay T Show. We talk movies and TV shows, sports and world news, coasting like on a world cruise. Hosted by Brianna and T Davis. Yeah. You can't tame us. We go on to the top, we're becoming famous.
What time is it?
It's time for the Mackay T Show.
What time is it?
I said it's time for the Mac and T Show.